Welcome to the Brewtiful Game. As always, I am Blake here with Ferris.
Hola.
And Ron.
What's happening?
And man, we got tons of news to talk about. Things have gone on since last we chatted concerning the U.S. men's national team. We got some Premier League to catch up.
No Mas Bruce.
No Mas Bruce. And Ferris got to attend the NWSL National Championship.
That was cool, man.
But first, on to the beer. Rolling right along. So today's beer is a perfect one because if you are in Central Florida, it's a nice chilly 76 degrees today with low humidity.
Fall is here.
Fall is here.
Am I in the right state right now?
It took till October 18th, but fall's here. So a couple weeks ago, because I had mentioned the head brewer of Lancaster Brewing gave me some beers. So I won't go into the history of Lancaster Brewing again, but just as a quick roundup, it's up in Lancaster, Pennsylvania, and we discovered that there was a history of like underground brewing during Prohibition and stuff, and people were sneaking around trying to. It was pretty cool. So that was a few episodes ago.
Battleground of Prohibition.
We did a coffee IPA that night.
That also spawned our Miss McGitten's Pie Shop Netflix original series.
I do believe so.
Mrs. Miggin's Pie Shop.
So this particular beer is a joint venture, though, however, from Lancaster Brewing Company and another brewing company in Pennsylvania called Cox Brewing Company. And I'll give you a quick history on them since we've already done Lancaster. Cox Brewing Company is a veteran-owned brewery located in Elizabethtown at PA in the village of Reams, where owners Nick Cox and Tim Kreider grew up together before heading into military service. Nick's casual obsession with brewing started in 2006, so much so that when his military unit deployed, he mailed most of his brewing equipment so he could use his days off for missions to brew. That's awesome. Tim, a craft beer advocate, home brewer, and craftsman with 15 years in the food and beverage industry, discussed combining their skills one day and open their very own brewery. Fast forward to nearly 10 years and hundreds of weekend batches later, these brothers have shared an appreciation for craft beer and have challenged each other to establish a first-generation family legacy one barrel at a time. After 2 years, Cox Brewing Company officially opened on April 3rd, 2015, and as life would have it, the very building that CBC occupies, Tim built when he was 14 years old with his father. Charity. Nick and Tim are both very active in veteran organizations, and it's important to them, rather a permanent responsibility, to do more than just make a great beer. CBC is committed to raise awareness about veteran organizations, and in doing so, every year CBC will donate a portion of its time and earnings from the military-branded beers to veteran organizations.
Oh, that's awesome.
That's really cool.
Elizabethtown, PA, I used to live in,
I used to drive through it all the time.
Yeah.
And Reams is right there.
So this particular beer is perfect because it finally kind of does feel like fall here. And I think this is going to be a perfect fall beer. As you'll notice, gentlemen, I've given you all Belgian tulip glasses for today's beer.
I've noticed that.
But it's still in a can. It's still that cool short-run canning system that Lancaster Brewing's got so they can do some of their special beers in canning. So without further ado, dun, 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 here it comes. Here you go, Ron. Some Camp Fryer smoked Belgian-style double ale aged on raisins.
What?
On raisins?
Wow, yeah. On raisins?
Kicking off our Coalition series is a unique take on Belgian-style double created with our friends at Cox Brewing. Starting with German Beechwood smoked malt and Liberty hops, we ferment with 2 different Belgian yeast strains for distinct complexity, then age the brew on raisins, giving Camp Fryer its incredible aroma and fruity, balanced flavor profile. 7.5 ABV, Lancaster Brewing Company. Their Coalition series, I've got a couple other that are coalitions that they're doing as a joint venture as well.
They had me at 2 different Belgian yeast strains.
The last one we did was a Coalition brew, remember? But it was a brewery and a coffee house.
Right.
So this is the other one that I have.
All the science nerds out there for the fermentation period are like, oh my God. Oh God.
So I did check with the brewmaster, Mark Brownworth, and I said, is there anything else special I should talk about? He said, well, it kind of is a little self-explanatory, but it's the smoked Belgian double. It's brewed with brown sugar and aged, and specifically California raisins. So,
California raisins.
Yeah.
California raisin.
Heard it through the grapevine. So I say we try this smoky double. Double's one of my favorite styles.
This isn't going to blast
beers.
over like the last beer we had, right?
I think we're going to be safe. With sweet smelling. Nice and amber pour, dark amber.
Should I be the only one that have it in can?
Well, that's up to you, my man.
Wait, you have a 6-pack?
I do have a 6-pack.
All right, I'll do one in the glass. I'll do one in the can.
Just remember, it's a 7.5 ABV.
Yes, it is. So this
Double.
So this is nice, dark, and yeasty looking. It's a nice amber color, but it's cloudy.
Yeah, it is.
Hence the couple of yeast strains that are in
It's,
this
it's
sucker.
pretty well carbonated, and there's very little head to speak of.
No,
which
yeah, not a lot of head retention.
Somebody
Somebody did that on Twitter, or on Untapped.
Yes,
they were like,
Callie.
Callie was like, "This beer is awesome and good head retention, Brewtiful Game."
It specifically tagged us in
It
it.
made me very happy. All right, gents.
Oh, it smells amazing.
I mean, yeah. Ooh,
Let's give it a whirl.
cheers.
It does smell good.
Slanjava.
Smells like raisins. Cilantro. Wow. Ooh.
Talk about the smoke flavor.
Right?
Ooh.
I've never had a beer.
So
that
what's
like
really
that.
interesting is that the smoke flavor doesn't hit you. It's like a 4-stage beer.
It's not like a Rosh beer where it's like super smoky.
It's sweet, and then it becomes smoky, and then it finishes, and then the smoke flavor lingers after the finish.
Oh man, that's good.
Wow.
Camp Fryer.
And Mark brewed this?
Yep, this is from Lancaster Brew. Yep.
God, good job, Mark.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Heck
Crazy
yeah.
good.
I know he just texted me saying, we're thinking of taking the kids down to the parks this coming August. So hopefully there'll be some more fun beers in store when he comes down to visit.
Jeez.
Because we still got a couple more to go, which is cool.
We're going to give that man a ticker tape parade.
I know.
A tick or type parade.
Oh man, this smells really, really good.
Tastes really, really good.
Him and his children can be extras in the TV show of Mrs. Megan's Pie Shop.
That's
What season do we introduce him to? Or did we introduce him in episode 4 or 5?
yeah, it's like partway through.
Right.
He's just called the brewer.
Oh, the brewer.
Right. Yeah. And he runs the brewing mafia. He's like the precursor to InBev.
Oh my gosh, this is good, man. I'm going to be excited to let this thing as we still sit here and
Such an interesting
and chill.
like raisins and
Yeah.
smoked, and it's just so interesting. But it tastes.
And the raisins
Awesome.
aren't too much though. Like every flavor
No,
we're talking
no,
about,
no.
it's all pretty subtle. It's not like there's anything smacking you in the face.
I can't wait
If
till
anything
this.
does, it's the smoke that smacks you. But it's not overbearing. It's not.
The artwork is fun. It's these it's very cartoony, like these monks, little like hobbits, the way they're drawn, chilling around a big old campfire. But
And
this
they're all
is-
roasting marshmallows.
yeah, but this is exactly what it tastes like. It tastes like something you'd want to have around a campfire. And
Oh, absolutely.
Hey, you realize that there's 3 people on there, and there's 3 of us. So
Okay, so
on
who's
this
who?
can is basically what we're going to be like when we're old making
sitting
beers.
around a campfire, roasting marshmallows, going, "This marshmallow, if we burn it just right, it'll taste delicious with a stout." And I don't know, have we done a double yet? A Belgian double?
I feel like we have.
Because
Yeah.
I love doubles. I can't. You know what? Was it Christmas? Because we had all those crazy Christmas beers.
Probably.
I love a double. This is delicious.
You know how we could check?
the Brewtiful Game beer blog,
Correct.
which you just updated.
Any idea how many beers?
Oh, then we said that on the
Not
last one.
including
didn't
today.
we? Yeah, we said it on the last one, didn't we? It was like 70 something.
Well, because
Did I
we've
say
done
that?
70
Yeah.
episodes, but so it's like got to be 77
Like
or something.
76 or
Yeah,
76.
okay.
Yeah,
All
I
right.
think we said it.
I have a good memory. It's just short.
It's,
so I
it's
forgot.
got to be just a few above the episode number. This is really great. Lancaster Brewing and Cox Brewing team up. This is good.
Well done.
Man, all right, that's a good one. Now, on to the soccer.
Soccer.
So
Premier
let's-
League was back. Praise the Lord.
Yeah. Oh, man. It was nice after the hate cake of the U.S. men's national team to just sit back and enjoy some Premier
it was
League.
nice for some of us. I'm sure.
Was it
some
nice
more
for
hate
you
cake will
who
be-
still can't score a goal against Liverpool? I feel like you guys have a lot of 0-0 games, right?
We haven't had one yet this season.
No. Against Liverpool.
Against Liverpool.
That's what I mean.
Yeah, there was a 1 or 2 last year. Yeah.
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 You just have each other's number for some reason.
Well, this was the big game of the weekend, and Liverpool attacked, and Manchester United defended. I mean, it's as simple as that. Was it the most entertaining game? No. Did Mourinho get blasted for playing a defensive Tony Pulis style counter ball.
But he was playing away against a team that can score multiple goals. So I'm not going to knock his tactics.
Exactly. There were a lot of factors, and as a United fan, I understand it. He's trying to
came
win
up a lot though. Like it was.
it came up
the arguments that people were like, "There's Chelsea playing boring," but he won the Premier League with that. So.
Right, and we necessarily haven't been boring all year. We've had 4-0 goals. We've had 4-0 games. We've played some attacking ball at times. Look at the circumstances that we're in this game. It is a marathon, not a sprint. We're only on game 8? We're coming off the international break. No Pogba in the lineup. No Fellaini, which some of you going, wait, Fellaini's not that. No, Fellaini's had a great year so far, and he's stepped in very well. So having him out was a loss. So those are two of your big midfielders in this game. You're going away, going to Anfield, a very hostile place, one of your biggest competitors and rivalries in the country and in the world, going away, who have a very attacking front three. Yes, Mane was not playing. He got injured on an international break, but you still have Coutinho, Salah, and Fernandinho. Not Fernandinho. Firmino. Not from. Yeah, there's a lot of
Fernandinho scores.
He scored well. So the very speedy attacking that they can score goals against you. He knew this, and he also knew that their midfield has been playing pretty darn well up until this point of the Jordan Henderson, Emre Can, and Jorginho I can't even say it now. Jorginho Wijnaldum. They've been playing very well, very well. So no Pogba, no Fellaini in there. It was only Matic and Herrera that kind of held down that midfield. They got overrun. I think he kind of knew all of this, and he set up to get a point and get a draw, get something from this game. De Gea made a fantastic save in this game with his foot. Lukaku had a chance to score. He didn't. Yes, it was boring. Yes, it wasn't entertaining.
Lukaku has had a tough time scoring in Liverpool his entire career.
True.
So that's nothing.
And he had a great shot and just hit it right at the goalie. But yeah, it wasn't entertaining. It wasn't the best game. But Mourinho's not necessarily here to entertain us. He's here to win championship.
Let me ask you,
getting a point away on this rather than getting countered on it and going away 3-1. I get why he did it. I'm okay with it.
Let's go to the other side of this coin.
Sure.
You knew, I think you're shocked if Mourinho doesn't pull this play, his park the bus. I was disappointed in Liverpool's lack of attack. I just thought, you know what? Go after Man U. Force them to have to score. You know what I mean? Because Liverpool does not have the defensive team that Man U does. So.
And they did. They tried, but we're not a lower of the table club that's necessarily going to fold all that often. They had some good chances. The De Gea save, that should have been a goal. He made a fantastic save. So they tried. Again, they're also coming off the international break. No Mane in there that can help open up play and help open up that's defense.
A big loss.
It's a loss for him. So all things considered, Liverpool, I think you're disappointed not to get a win. Manchester United, you could be on either side of the fence. For me, I'm on the side that says, I get what Mourinho did. This is what he's done in the past. I'm fine with it. It's a marathon, not a sprint.
Pretty much covers it.
Pretty much covers that match. Next up, the game that woke me up. I was just cheering on for Burnley when they got that goal on West Ham. At home, West Ham looked like they were going to get a victory against Burnley. In the 85th minute, late climax courtesy of Big Head from Wood is the highlight, or is the title tagline that Ferris wrote. And when Chris Wood scored in the 85th minute, I think we all texted each other, Chris Wood scored late.
I took the climax part from you. I think you sent that text, and then I just had to figure out how to apply that into a classic Brewtiful Game Wood headline.
Because at the end of the day, we're all 12.
Yeah.
But seriously, what a great climax. Burnley, so fun to watch this year. They're still sitting at 7th because they snagged this extra point.
Yeah. And if you're a West Ham fan, you got to be mad at Andy Carroll. What?
Yeah.
What? That was so
two like almost back to back. Going in, jumping. He's an aggressive player, but he gave bows to both. Yeah, it was very, very close.
Seconds between like yellows.
Like both elbows, exact same thing twice. You can't be surprised if you're Andy Carroll to get sent off there. It was absolutely the right call both times. They almost got out of this had it not been for Mr. Wood popping up in the 85th minute.
I love it. Oh, man.
Oh, we're so 12.
We are. But it was, Burnley, what a fun, a couple years ago, when they were back in the Premier League, a couple years ago, we were enjoying Dave Fishwick's Burnley, and it's great to see them. Because right now you can't imagine they're making it. They're going to be mid-table. These guys will be fine this year.
It definitely seems that way, and they're not necessarily mid-table right now.
No. I just mean
they're sitting at 7th.
Absolutely.
They're 1 point out. Are they 1 point out or are they tied on points?
No, Liverpool,
They're
Burnley, Arsenal,
points.
and Chelsea are all tied.
They're tied on points. They're now they have to keep this going the entire season, but they're right there in the possible Europe spots.
And they are
huge for Burnley.
Burnley could be the new Everton.
Yeah, especially since Everton is doing everything they can to vacate that space.
Everton's the new Burnley.
Yeah. Oh, I don't even know if that's accurate.
No, it's definitely not
the
accurate.
new West Ham. The new
West.
I don't know.
The new Leicester, maybe?
I would say the new Crystal Palace, but Crystal Palace, which the best thing about the Crystal Palace Chelsea match was Rebecca Lowe and the videos that came from her dancing when each goal was
Her
scored.
Instagram was hysterical.
What was the stat? 770 some minutes
Something
with
obnoxious.
no
Just
goals.
Something obnoxious.
And somehow Crystal Palace scores 2 against Chelsea.
Well,
mind you, the first one's an own goal, but still, the way they were playing, it could have been 3-1 because there were other opportunities. What did you put here? The champs are no match for Roy's mighty Palace. They played valiant football. They were great. It was a fun match to watch. At any second they could have given it away to Chelsea. They don't have a back line to rival Chelsea's attack, but things just fell their way.
And before Ron goes on about Chelsea, because I know he'll have some choice comments and maybe passing out some hate cake here. This game came down to really 2 players that changed this game. One for Palace, one for Chelsea. No N'Golo Kante for Chelsea.
Yep.
Right.
And then Wilfred Zaha back for Palace. And
Huge.
He gave their back 3, 5, whatever they are. They're seeing him in nightmares right now.
He apparently
Those 2 players, one not in the game and one back in the game, was a massive difference.
Clearly, keeping Zaha healthy will be the difference between them being relegated or not. They are still sitting with but 3 points from 1 game only at the very bottom of the table. So they still got a lot of work to do. But if they do it, it's because Zaha stays healthy.
Yeah, I agree with Ferris. I was going to cover the same thing, that Zaha was back, and that was great. And no, you're fine. And then no Conte, that really hurt. I equate this game to a used car sales commercial.
With like the arms that flop in front of the...
In the background, you have the arm flailing, waving, inflatable arm tube man.
Wacky waving inflatable arm tube man. Is that it? Yeah.
Right. Hashtag wacky inflatable.
And then, we just weren't finishing anything. We weren't, but we were so, we were trying the good sales pitch. We were trying to get down the field, but nothing ever materialized for us. We would get these great counters, these great ball through or over the top, and we'd be creative, and then it would all go to nothing.
I just kept thinking of the Pacino movie, Any Given Sunday. Like, any given Sunday, this, you know what I mean? Like, and that's what it felt like. That Don Cheadle NFL commercial of the 7 inches this way, silence, 7 inches away. Yeah. Right. Like, it just would not land their way.
It just wasn't, they're having a tough run of form right now.
And hey, feel good for those Palace fans at home.
Yeah.
Like, what a woof. They've not had a good
like,
season.
Well, it was kind of funny because their first goal was actually an own goal. an own goal that went off of Azpilicueta's butt.
Yeah.
And into the goal. Of course, that's going to be Palace's first goal of the season, going in off of the other teams.
Right.
To be fair, it wasn't Gary Cahill.
That's true.
That was the shocker.
For a change. Yeah.
But yeah, I feel like the Chelsea season this year is, like I said, a used car sales lot. Come on down to Stamford Bridge. You could buy yourself a goal, or you might not be able to. It's just one of those. We're just not consistent, and it's kind of driving me crazy because there's very little changes. Go ahead.
You know what we need? Bill Paxton from True Lies out there in front of Stamford Bridge trying to sell the game. He was great in True Lies. He would be fantastic in that.
Come on down to Stamford Bridge. So yeah, I think it's a tough sell this season for Chelsea. They're working uphill a lot, and really not a lot has changed. So Conte's going to have to pull a rabbit out of his hat for finding, I don't want to say a new gimmick, but a new way for them to all gel. I think one of the hardest things they have now is that everyone understands how to beat that back three line. And since we haven't evolved to it, and other teams have evolved their attacking structure to that back three, we're having a lot harder time with, those great overlapping runs and really creative play. So that, and we've changed our back line around a lot. So, meaning the players. So, it's a bit tricky.
It's one of those things that it works, kind of takes everybody off guard the first year, and then the second year, everybody kind of learns from it.
Right.
And it also shows you take a couple pieces out of that squad that did so well last year, Conte being one, Matic, no Morata in this game.
Right.
You take some of those pieces that help that formation so well out, it doesn't quite gel and work as well.
Yep.
I agree. No late goals from Costa because I still don't know where he is.
He's gone.
Right.
I don't know if we covered this on the pod.
Did we talk about this?
I don't think we did.
I don't think we did.
His official transfer to Atletico Madrid in January has gone through.
Right.
You ask why January? Because Atletico Madrid is on a transfer ban.
How about
until January.
No one has cared about Costa. I missed that entirely. I didn't even see that.
He's
It was covered.
It just wasn't like top of the page news.
Yeah, because he's already not been.
The way I read it was on the BBC site, and it was buried.
Wow, man, that's crazy.
And he kind of did that to himself.
Oh, absolutely, man, absolutely. Next match. I don't care who you're rooting for in the Premier League. Watch out. Man City 7, Stoke 2. Man City looks fantastic. We have said so many times on paper they should be the best team of the last couple of years. Pep Guardiola, can he coach the Premier League? I think the answer is yes.
Yeah,
Stoke is
very well.
Stoke is no pushover of a club. 7-2 win in Stoke. Woof. They're frightening.
They're just firing on all structures.
Oh man, I mean
Structures?
structures.
What structures you firing?
Thrusters.
Yeah, what structures? This was just a complete dominant performance. Not only 7 goals, they had 79% possession. Now, sometimes it doesn't even matter, but they were productive off of that possession.
Yeah.
And then they had 20 shots, 11 on goal, opposed to 5 and 1 on goal.
Their goal differential 25. Right
It's just insane. Yes, this was at home. Yes, this was against Stoke, but it's 7 goals in soccer.
And it's Stoke. Stoke is not a pushover.
No, they're not. And you had, it wasn't like one person scored a hat trick and then somebody else had 2. This was
everybody scored. The ball boy scored.
6 different scorers in this game. Jesus, Sterling, Silva, Fernandinho, Sane, Bernardo Silva. They're spraying the ball around, and a lot of that has to do with probably the best players so far to date in the Premier, or so far since the season started, Kevin De Bruyne. He didn't get on the score sheet, but he was pinging balls around. He was commanding the game.
Instrumental in
Absolutely.
I saw the articles. It was like the new Messi, Kevin De Bruyne. It's like, whoa, we're getting a little.
Yeah.
I would say he's the new Fabregas.
No, actually, was it Pep said that in an interview? That's it. Yeah, Pep.
I think he's trying to use him like that.
Yeah.
But you won't see Brewing playing that kind of false nine that sometimes they did with Messi during his days. But he's just more. He sees the field so well.
Yeah.
And he positions himself and can put the ball on a dime, and he can open up space for himself by what he sees and where he needs to be. He does that so well.
I just feel like this top two of Man City, Man U, I'm going to be shocked if this changes throughout the season, because I feel like these are the two top teams that have an overall complete club. But I feel like Man City quickly could do that thing Chelsea did a few years ago, and it just hits a point where you go, well, it's so many points ahead. Mm-hmm. How is anyone ever going to catch up?
I could see that happening, yeah.
Did we cover their possession?
You said
79%.
79%. The other thing is that they had 1,031 touches of the ball in total. And only 361 for Stoke.
Can you say that again, but in your used car salesman voice?
Man City had 1,031 touches compared to the Stoke 231.
Sunday.
Come on down to Stamford Bridge.
Yeah,
thank you. That made me happy.
You're welcome.
Oh man, they look fantastic. I mean, and let's be honest, they scored 8 goals, right? Because
one was an own goal.
One was an own goal for Stoke City.
Right.
They had to help out Stoke a little bit. They felt a little bit bad for him. So, hey, well, why not?
Guys, this is going to get embarrassing.
So, just my apologies. They had 7 goal scorers in this game.
Yeah. They just look great. Next match, Swansea City home against Huddersfield.
Christopher Harris has to be happy with this resulting game.
Yeah, a couple of goals for Swansea City. You got a brace by Abraham, but Swansea last year barely got into 13th. I know it's still early in the season, but they sat so low for so long. Points are points at Swansea City. They need them, because I felt like after last season, Swansea City was like a guaranteed relegation kind of team.
These are big points.
So.
Swansea also didn't have the majority of the possession in this.
Huddersfield.
Thank you. Huddersfield.
The Terriers.
Yeah.
Sir Patrick Stewart's club.
It's cool how much of a possession game they're playing through, and a relatively consistent one throughout their season.
Well, why they're sitting at 12th, I believe. I mean, that's Huddersfield is playing a smart game with the talent they have to.
Right.
Knowing they just got to get 40 points.
And they had chances in this game. Swansea just capitalized better on theirs. It's kind of a duh.
Right.
But, I mean, they did. There was a big turnover for the first goal that allowed them to play the ball into Tammy, and he slotted it home. And then second goal, I think, was a little fortunate, if I remember it. But, yeah, they had their chances. They're doing very well. What do you guys think, kind of slightly off topic, but what do you guys think of Huddersfield's coach? His name eludes me all of a sudden, but the German American Wagner, possibly being up for the
new U.S. men's national team coach is what I was going to say.
Yeah, it's interesting, isn't it?
It could happen.
David Wagner, that's what it is, something like that.
David Wagner. Yeah.
I wouldn't be disappointed. I think it'd be a different feel on it. He has a German take on the game, but is classified as a American. I think he has born a lot of Germany.
Guys playing in German clubs right now.
And he got Huddersfield Town into the Premier League, and so far is doing pretty darn good.
Yeah, let him.
They're playing solid. They don't play the most expansive, exciting type of ball, but getting it done.
That would fit with America. I don't know that we have the players do that, so you gotta qualify. I wouldn't bother me. That would be, for me, that'd be an exciting choice.
It certainly would be interesting to see what. I'm always interested in when they get a new manager, when any new manager goes into a team, how they clean house, how they change, how they put their own stamp on things and their own tactics into use. So I would be interested to see what he does.
I mean, I don't know how much you'd be able to do because Galati didn't resign. So, Galati's still in. We're kind of saying that we want him out last pod, but he was elected. So he can't just, unless he
could resign.
could resign, or he could, unless it's like
lose an
ethical, illegal, something like that. Then they could basically
board forces
impeach him or whatever their term is. But yeah, it would be very interesting to see what David Wagner could bring and how he could cultivate young talent and get the best out of our Bobby Woods or Pulisic. You know, it would be interesting. I don't know if he's necessarily the right guy, but I think he should be up there in consideration for the next U.S. men's national team coach.
But I'd feel bad for Huddersfield Town because I'm enjoying their run right now.
And Sir Patrick wouldn't be too happy.
No, let them finish the season out. Our next match, Tottenham at home against Bournemouth.
Tottenham Hotspur.
Your title is stretching it a little bit.
Yeah.
Christian Eriksen gets the only goal for Tottenham, who wins in the 47th minute. And Ferris's tagline is, "Holy Christ, that's a win at home for Christian Eriksen." I get what you did there.
Well, I like. It was a stretch. I had to think about this one, but I like my last one in the last game because I thought that could be a new character into our Netflix series.
Oh, Tammy 2 goal for Tammy.
Yeah,
Abraham.
like that's.
It's Tammy 2 goes.
It's
Tammy
Tammy
2
2
go.
go.
I get every character is super cockney that we take.
Yeah,
Like
very
every
cockney.
one of them are. It's Tammy 2 go.
I think it was. Who was I talking to? Oh, it was Tony Smith. Tony sounds good. He's like, and Blake's English accent for everybody is the same. It's Wayne Rooney speaks the same as Jamie Vardy, and Vardy speaks the same as Steve Bruce. And it's like, yeah, that's
And Arsene Wenger and
exactly.
Mourinho
charm.
sound the same.
It's all part of the
I
charm.
could work on it if I had time, but I'm not going to sit there and phonetically write out dialects for all these different people.
You need to work on that. Blake. We
I'll
need
work
done
on that.
here the
I've
pod.
got to write a lot of TV episodes about Rose Lavelle and Mrs. Miggins.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm up to.
Well,
We
Rose
have
Lavelle is who-
dueling Netflix series.
No, it's not dueling, my friend.
Oh.
Rose Lavelle is the private eye that brings down Mrs. Miggins' pie shop.
Spoilers.
Yeah.
Kind of.
Yeah, see, it just got real. Yeah,
He totally gave away the secret.
that's the show.
Damn it! That was like episode 9. Like that's how you find out.
She pops in, takes down Mrs. Miggins.
She is the Loretta Lynch of the U.S. to taking down the bad,
Amazing.
corrupt.
So with this win that Tottenham has over Bournemouth's struggling. They only have 4 points.
-8.
Minus 8 goal difference. Now here's the thing. You guys know what just happened in the under 21s for Bournemouth?
No,
Callum Wilson just scored a hat trick.
good for him. We like him.
So
At
why is he
what
not in the
point-
starting team?
Yeah, at what point is he healthy enough to say, let's go ahead and bring Callum Wilson back to the Premier League?
A lot of teams do that though. Remember, he was
Yes.
coming off another season-ending knee ligament something from last year.
But
They started him in the under
Sure.
21s because you don't necessarily have to be under 21 in those type of leagues, but you get him in to get him fit. So yes, he may have scored and he may have played,
No.
but is he match fit for the Premier League? Is what they have.
He's
to
been playing very well
assess.
lately. And I just feel like, ooh, it's about time to, I mean, even if he's a 70th minute sub, geez, like it is time to anything, man. Anything.
Yeah.
I don't want the cherries to go.
And for Tottenham, finally they get a win in the Premier League at home. Not too convincing though. Still a little bit of.
You see that third spot Tottenham's in?
Yeah.
That's where they're going to end the season at.
Unfortunately, I think so.
I think they'll compete hard. They'll have some great matches, but I think they will never scratch into that second and first place. I think it's going to elude them.
I think if they were playing at.
Whitehall?
Yes, thank you. I think they would have pushed harder. I think moving. I mean, going into a temporary stadium where they're gonna have their own home stadium next year. I think it's gonna slow them down a bit. Where they didn't need to be slowed down a bit, they needed just that little extra boost. I think it's gonna hurt them this year. Unfortunately, I think you're right. I think they're gonna end in third.
I just don't see them having another good Valiant year where, you know, if they don't watch it, they're about to become very Arsenal-y. Never cracked.
Yep.
That's
Tottenham becoming Arsenal-y? That's just an
Yeah.
honest statement.
Well, it's cool because Arsenal's taking the Spursy side of things. So they're getting that covered.
Oh yeah, how so?
Well, in the next match, at home, Watford at home with Fat Drake Troy Deeney penalty and Tom Cleverley with a 90
Okay,
a goal in the 92nd minute. and I'm only explaining that so I can read Ferris's tagline.
I'm stretching on some
How
of these.
cleverly can the winger outplanes get?
Get off the stage, you bum.
The match started with Per Mertesacker came back, the captain, and the big German scored a great goal or a good header right.
He is
early
everything
on.
I aspire to be in our Sunday league games. Like just a big goofy oaf, just every now and again gets his head on a ball and a goal. Can kind of defend, but
Celebrates
he's old
in
and slow. That's right up
beautiful
my alley,
style.
baby.
He celebrates in beautiful style when he wins. Or
He
when he
does.
scores.
And it looked like they were going to win with a 1-0 against Watford. And Watford's no slouch. They've been a good club this year, so I'm not, it's not like they lost to Crystal Palace. But Ron didn't say anything, so I'm just going to keep moving.
I'm just letting that go.
But
Jerk.
Troy Deeney's penalty, not really a penalty. That was not a great call.
No.
Still, you put yourself in the position. Either way, you were going to get probably robbed of a victory because that Tom Cleverley goal in the 92nd. It just was very, I think that was the tweet I put out that someone said, I wish I could like this more than once. And it was, that's so
that Matt
Spursy
Call?
now equals that's so Arsenal. That's so Arsenal equals that's so Spursy, whatever. Like, yeah,
Right.
It's, that's so Arsenal has taken over the that's so Spursy.
But you guys did this to yourselves. You guys scored a
Yeah,
goal
well,
and then
that-
shut off.
That
and
exactly
Watford,
why they are
Right.
now the new that's so Spursy is that's so
and
Arsenal.
Watford dominated the second half. And yes, the penalty should not have been a penalty,
Sure,
but it was coming.
Yep.
I mean, it
Yep.
was coming. And then the Tom Cleverley 90. It was like there's only like 93 minutes or something played.
Right.
A single Arsenal player wasn't even trying. Like there was no like urgency or wanting to go towards the ball to keep it from the back of the net. It's like they all just kind of stood and watched as Watford tried to score a goal. The ball bounced around and really just beat everybody to it and just like what was everybody doing?
It makes me think of a bunch of rich kids like picking on some little kid. They're all being preppy, shoving the kid around the playground, and the poor kid just goes blam right in the nose to the one rich kid and makes it bleed. And even though it's 10 against 1, they all just stop.
It's like the Backstreet Boys against that one kid, and he punches Nick Carter just square in the face.
Right in the face.
That's what the Arsenal reminds me of the
they don't-
Backstreet Boys. I have no clue why. Just good
hair.
haircuts, and they probably all
Yeah.
smell divine. It's just
I just wish there was a player that had some kind of passion. Because I don't think that Sanchez, I love the guy. And he's got a lot of passion, but it never feels like it has never felt, even prior to the shenanigans of this year, like club passion. Let me point at this badge. And do you know what I mean? Like,
Right.
It's never felt like that. Like if you watch a young Tom Rashford score a goal or something like that. Do you know what I mean? Like, Arsenal is just missing that from the club.
There's no
well,
spark.
and
There's
Sanchez
no-
wasn't even
Yeah.
on the bench
No.
in this one. I mean,
Yeah.
he was, but no, I agree. I mean, he has more passion for his
himself.
dogs on Instagram than he does for Arsenal, and that could be because
Do you know why?
he wants out, and he just has to get through this year, and then he can go for free.
I think
I
it's
think
why
he's
a lot of
gonna make a
Arsenal
lot.
fans, we joke a lot about Olivier Giroud, but there are a lot of Arsenal fans that actually do like him because he is one of the few guys who get subbed in late, score a goal, run to the supporters,
agree.
and he's like it right now for me.
I think Sanchez is just trying to get through this year and not get injured.
Yeah, he's just doing Acosta, but he's actually playing. That's like the difference.
And I think Arsenal tried to do the right thing in the offseason to bring in some of that. Kolasinac and Lacazette. It was the right step.
Oh, absolutely.
They needed one
Kolasinac
more to
actually
help.
a great
Right.
in that kind of vein. Like, you're a lot of
His
fire.
passion and vigor needs to spread, or I don't think he's playing the right position to do that. You need somebody in the center of the park. Like they would have done awesome with a Conte, a Matic, Bakayoko.
You know what's also really weird?
That somebody in the center of the field that can kind of command, like, and then he would have helped. Lacazette would have
It
helped.
should have been a
with that.
draw. It should have been a 2-2 draw. You know why? How can a man who is so good with his technical skills of handling that soccer ball not be able to score easy goals? And that's Mesut Ozil. He had a shot and
he did right before the penalty. Yeah.
But he does that a lot. Like he'll do stuff that like he'll chip the ball over his own shoulder, turn it. You're like, oh my God, that guy is amazing. But he has a tough time finishing.
Does he care to be there?
Yeah, I don't think so.
Too.
I don't think so. I think
I don't
he's
think so
ready.
either.
I think he's ready to roll too.
And
so they're kind of giving, a
Yeah.
3/4 effort.
So let me ask you this though: if you're saying all these players don't want to be here, Wenger, we've gone off on
It's
that
a toxic
topic.
situation, I think.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, so this time last, or no, I'm sorry, not this time last year. The end of last year. Okay, when Wenger was up, is he going to be extended? What's the case? So on and so forth. Watford hired in Silva. Go back. Would you have wanted Silva in instead of re-signing Wenger?
Oh, I'm sure I may go back and regret saying this, but I feel like my take was anything different would be good.
Because Silva has Watford all the way up. Yes, Watford.
We said this a couple months
into
ago.
Champions League places at the current time in
Sneak-
fourth.
And we've said sneaky good.
Still a long year.
They have been sneaky good, though. Yeah, but there is the way they are playing, there's nothing to have me not believe that they won't be fighting for 4th to 6th place by the end of the year. Easily.
He can manage a team. He can manage players. He showed that with the team he managed last year. That went down. Oh my gosh.
Hull?
Hull, thank you. And he's gone. It shows that he can manage two teams and build some sort of motivation and some sort of culture there. Yes, brief at Hull, but he almost kept them up. And now he's doing that with Watford. What could he have done with Arsenal?
Do you think if they went the Silva route that Sanchez and Ozil would want to stick around, or do you think it's too little, too late? We're tired of the front office. We're tired of the.
I mean, it depends. I mean, if you start the season
don't
with
know.
a bang and energy amongst the club, it could be a totally different situation.
Silva wasn't the big name at the time. So Sanchez and Ozil could have looked at, he's not an Ancelotti. He's not a Mourinho. So why would we? But I think he's kind of what Arsenal needed. He probably could have gone, and I think I said it before on the pod, a Diego Simeone type, I think would have probably kept some of these players and extended out.
Who's the guy we kept saying from Juventus?
Maximiliano Allegri, something like that. Yeah,
that was the one that was the big push. I mean, it's so clear that, hey, it'll be fun to be an Arsenal fan next year because in the sense that for next season, it should be different.
Wenger signed a 2-year deal.
Was it a 2?
It was a 2-year deal.
Yep.
So unless he gets sacked or resigns,
You heard it here first.
Oh,
Next year when there's a new manager, he did it. I think that they have done the thing that was the dumb thing to do, which is instead of letting him leave with excellent service to the club over the years, I think by doing a 2-year contract, it is going to force the hand to have to get rid of him.
okay. What if you guys pull a Mourinho from last year and Wenger gets 7th in the Premier League, but wins the Europa League and still qualifies for Champions League?
Won't happen. So I don't even know what you're talking about. We will blow Europa. There's no way. That will astound me.
I also think that even if that were to happen, it would still be too little, too late. If they don't finish in the top 4 this year, there's going to be a lot of problems for Wenger.
Yep.
I could totally see you guys getting 7th, and in the championship game of the Europa League final, Wenger just f***ed it all up. I could totally see that.
Yeah. And it would be like another
Which
team.
would be odd because Wenger in championship games actually is very, very well. But I could see that being such a that would tie in like the Arsenal past few years, and
Right.
it would just
Well, the interesting thing is that the only games he's playing well are the big games.
Yeah, if he
The
can
regular
make it.
season games
I just don't
are-
have faith he makes it there. It'll be early on against a team that they have no business losing to, and that'll be who they lose to. Also, I mean, Mourinho went with the plan of the gamble of I'm going to win this. I don't know.
He did, yeah.
I don't know. That's Arsenal's.
I don't think Wenger would ever come out and say that.
Right.
No.
I feel like
I don't know.
I feel like Arsene Wenger is constantly this year and last year is in a perpetual state of shrugging his shoulder. Like, whatever.
Well, I mean, times have changed. It's just time for something new. That's all. It's just, and that's why I said that. I was like, it's not, I don't hate the guy. I just want something different because I think I said this in a pod or two ago about even if it's the wrong choice first, they won't sit on that wrong choice for long, right? You just make the first change and it's easier to make the next change. And to me, that feels like the biggest problem is they won't make a change. So structurally, forget Wenger just up top, but structurally, everything he's got in place below him, if there's rotten apples in there, even if he's okay, that's why that's just all got to go. It's just all got to change. But I mean,
start over.
If he gets in the top 4, no, it won't. But if he lands out of the top 4, but at this rate, landing outside of Europe is also a distinct possibility. Because there are too many clubs. Okay, we've been talking about, you could easily see, you're up top right now, you have Man City, Man United, Tottenham, and Watford. Just below the line for Champions League, you've got Chelsea, Arsenal, Burnley, Liverpool. Look at those teams. It would be so easy to end in 7th or 8th place and not get in.
Yeah,
easy with the clubs that are in the way they are playing right now. That could easily happen.
If they fall, if they fall out and get 7th, say at the end of the year, which I think he either resigns or they fire him. If he makes top 6, I think you're going to be stuck with him another year,
unless there's somebody that's just so available that is the perfect. But I don't know who that would be.
But you know what? Your ownership,
Ancelotti's available now.
Your ownership has had that opportunity time and again.
They had it with Pep Guardiola when he was available.
And they don't.
Came up.
They don't take it.
Pep Guardiola's smarter than that, though. He knew not to go there.
Yeah, but they didn't even try.
Well, because they can't compete with what City can offer and the cash that they can buy players. Like, that's not Arsenal. That's not Stan.
But they just got to do something. And
Well, it's not the current Arsenal.
No.
Well, it hasn't been the Arsenal. They haven't. I mean, since moving into the Emirates, I think a lot of Arsenal fans will say it has kind of been the downswing of the Henry Invincibles year. Obviously, that's like the pinnacle. So you're always going to kind of go downhill. But moving into the Emirates, you now have to pay for that stadium. Stan Kroenke, it's more of a business than it is putting in, which is not necessarily a terrible thing because up until this past year, Arsenal's made the Champions League every year in the past 10 years or whatever. So the business has run well. It's now hitting a bad patch. He's deciding to stick with the manager that got them there. We're only 8 games in.
But you go 2 years without that Champions League money?
Right.
Then that's a direct correlation. And you have great world-class players that are not playing to their potential.
And could leave for free.
That's the...
And you have players who are going to start avoiding wanting to play for Arsenal.
Yeah.
And then that is really dangerous.
And then it's harder to get, money's money, but it's a lot harder to get those coaches.
Money, 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 money.
But there's a lot busted.
Money. No clue why I said
I don't either. And this brings us up, though, to our last match.
Nope.
There's 2 more.
Oh, sorry. Last match above the line. Sorry, of the page. Yep. Break. My bad. Our next match, Brighton Hove Albion, Everton 1-1. It looked like Brighton Hove Albion was sending Everton straight into the relegation zone. And
pretty close.
Yeah. Man, Everton, that penalty at the end from Wayne Rooney. I know it saved Everton, that point, but buddy, woof. Everton?
Had it not been for Matty Ryan in goal for Brighton, it could have been a 2-1. He made some outstanding. I was just watching the highlights.
But the first half was a relatively
this is Everton, though.
match.
This is a club that should be destroying a team like Brighton and Albion. This is Everton's in trouble. Their coach has got 2 more weeks, maybe.
Had he lost this game, he could have been gone after this game.
Yeah, Everton is in dire straits. This is a club that, top 6 and 7 has been something they've been flirting with for years, and they are just above with 8 points. They look rough. They look listless. Every game looks just a mess.
Brighton really stuck it to them from the stats standpoint. It's incredible how close the stats are. Possession's only off a little bit, but the touches and passes are super close. Brighton and Hove Albion were really keeping pace with Everton the entire time. And I don't know if that's, I don't know. Does that mean that Everton was just playing that bad, or that Brighton Hove was doing well?
No, Everton's
Probably
sitting
a little
there.
bit of both.
Yeah, Everton's sitting there in 16th. Like they're. Well, if you're an Everton fan, it's a hard thing to be right now.
They're missing a Lukaku.
Yeah, and they didn't bother to try to go after anybody either.
Well, they went after Gylfi, which I think everybody was like, "Oh no, that's good. That's a good signing." But then the more you look at it, like, well, Rooney's kind of the same player.
Yeah, well, I mean, Gylfi wasn't a bad sign. It just was you needed also a striker. Like,
Right.
I
You
mean,
gained depth in one area, but you didn't gain any first team player in the other. You have a very young, was it Calvert-Lewin Jackson or whoever playing the front line, like Dominic Calvert-Lewin, who's done well, and he's looked like he's gonna be a very like young, talented player, but he's not gonna put the team on his shoulders and bury the ball in the 81st and then again in the 87th. He's just not that. He's too young and he's not that type of player yet. They needed that. They needed somebody up front they can count on game after game. He's not that. They missed that.
Yeah, and in this, Wayne Rooney was the out-and-out forward, which is, I don't know. I think
32 years old and
I think he
hasn't played that position all last year, really.
Right.
they are lacking. They're just lacking any cohesion and spark right now.
And any attacking teeth. They really don't. They just don't have it. There's no creativity. There's no build up out of the midfield to try and create something positive or clever chances. So they're really slowing down. The brakes are on for those guys.
Yeah, they better watch out because they could easily slip into that relegation area.
And they're not far out of it.
No, would have a tough time climbing out.
But at least they're even. They played 8 games. They're on a -8, and they have 8 points.
Right.
Yeah,
Thanks for keeping it even.
And they're in 16th place.
yeah, keeping it
it would have been
all
they
on
were in
8s.
18th point or 8th.
Next up, we've got Southampton and Newcastle was on the Sunday matches.
That was a fun match to
That
watch.
was a blast,
Yeah,
dude.
that was a lot of
2-2.
fun.
It was probably one of the more fun matches of the, if you forget the 7 goals scored at Man City, but it was one of the more fun matches to watch of the weekend.
Gabby Andini wakes up and gets a brace. Bam.
Yeah, he did.
He's been a little hit or miss this season for them. He's certainly been playing a lot of clever ball and making runs, but he's been very hit or miss with actual scoring.
Yeah,
So
he just hasn't produced all year. He has a couple goals here and there, but yeah.
right.
You're
So it's good to
right.
see him getting a brace in this match. Did we see that Newcastle was just put up for sale?
Oh, no.
Well, they've been put up for sale before, and
Right.
nobody's bought.
But this is in like the middle of the season.
Yeah,
Normally,
it's interesting.
they put them up in like toward the end of the season or in the summer break. But yeah, two days ago they were put up for sale.
Well, guys, let's put a couple dollars together and see
hey.
if we can.
Guys, everybody just chip in. We'll run a Kickstarter. The
That'd be hysterical.
Newcastle Brewtiful FC. Let's make it happen.
Oh, the fans
They would
would
revolt.
not be happy if we
would
changed the
not.
name of anything.
Revolt.
Who are these idiots? And then this brings us to me, the most depressing story out of the Premier League right now.
To be or not to be?
Leicester, well, it's not depressing that there's no longer, as Ferris' wonderful talking about Leicester City and West Brom match, his tagline is Mars' foot in line for late poetry, but not enough for Shakespeare.
Foot in line, both poetry terms, by the way. I looked that up.
That's the best one. That's the most cleverly one you've written.
I had something different, and then obviously when the news came out, I think it was the very next day, he got sacked, and Ron immediately sent out, he got sacked, like we predicted would he last or whatever. And I went back and I was like, okay, let me send out the content to the gents. Let me change this headline real quick.
Well, this was the match was 1-1, 63rd minute goal from West Brom. At 80th minute from Leicester to draw 1-1.
Both
Brom, by
really
the way,
nice goals, by the way.
West Brom, shockingly, as we are at this point in the season, sitting beautifully at 10th place. like they do.
Bingo.
Leicester in 18th in the relegation area at 6th. Last year,
Where
they flirted with this situation. We said, is this a team that's going to win the league and then turn around and get relegated? Right? That was the whole conversation. It turned out, Craig Shakespeare came in, saved the day, and turned things around. But talking about dire, this is worse to me than the Everton situation, I guess, in a way, in that these guys do have some of the players to make a difference that you feel like are missing on Everton.
Right.
And they are terrible.
So Michael Appleton is the interim caretaker, if you will,
Oh, no kidding.
of the team. Are you? I feel like that's not the position you want to be in on the Leicester squad. From the respect of anybody who comes in to rescue him, it's not looking good for that person. 5, 6, 8 months later.
Who do you bring in?
I mean, Shakespeare was an interim.
But then got
And
the
then-
official appointment.
Right,
Right,
but
then
he,
got the
he was
appoint-
also one of the assistants during their phenomenal
Yeah.
run. So that one's kind of like, okay,
I don't think
makes
you'll
sense.
do that again.
No, I don't think they will either.
I don't know who you get. I don't know. I mean, they need someone.
Could you get another Italian in? Ancelotti.
I always
Benitez went to Newcastle.
Yeah. So do you think they should have sacked him?
Who?
Shakespeare.
I think you have to.
Remember, it's only been 4 months?
Yeah, but
It's not.
I think any other club would be who had
It's
been where
not
they
5
were.
games like Palace, right?
Yeah,
It's 8 games. I think it's a tad bit harsh. The team still showed some fight, coming back, drawing. They had good momentum. The crowd was in it. I think it's a bit harsh. I think you really got to wait till like game 10, which is not. It's less than a third of the season, so you still have time to recover. Yeah, I'd
hey,
say
but
it's
you know
a
what
bit
though?
harsh.
We sit around though complaining about waiting too long making a decision. So
Yeah, but game 8. And
Yeah,
like I said, this was off of a draw. It wasn't off of like a 4-0, just like the team gave up. The team still had fight. They still had heart. The crowd was in it. They could have gone on and won the game 2-1. It didn't seem like the players, like he lost the players, or it was that, yes, they're in 18th, but they're in 18th on a -3, which is by far a better goal difference than anybody all the way up to 13th. And you're still in game 8. You still have a little bit of time here.
Right.
A little bit harsh.
Well, of their 10 matches this season, 8 of them in the Premier League and 2 in the EFL Cup, Leicester City have won 3, drawn 3, and lost 4. So they've got a bit of clearly a losing record. But I don't know if they jumped the gun on this by a game, 2 games.
you know what I'm jumping the gun on? Another beer.
Yeah, the beer is good. Leicester is not.
The beer's good. Leicester's not. That's the quote of Leicester's season right now.
Yeah, and it'd be interesting to see who they bring in.
This beer is surprisingly
Because
drinkable.
they're like I think Blake said it earlier. There is quality on this team. They brought in Abora in the offseason, which is good in midfield. Still have Vardy, still have Mahrez, Albright, and they brought in one of our favorites, Collecta Iheanacho, who's really not having a good year so far.
No, he's really messed up the whole sales of my Nacho Shack.
Yeah, a little bit of a slump here.
I need him to pick it up, or the stock market's going to really hurt us.
I mean, they could have used a Marcos Silva.
Yeah, absolutely.
Bring Ranieri back. Why not?
And make it more interesting than what's happening right now. It's just I hate to see him at this playing like this.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I agree. It's a little bit sad. Like I said, I think they jumped the gun a little bit here on this one.
Yeah, I think so by, 2-3 weeks. I think
We lose a great name for a manager.
Yep.
Yeah, Craig Shakespeare.
We lose all the good names.
Both names were great. I mean, like Craig Shakespeare. It's just a great name. Not even just the Shakespeare part. Why you look at me like that?
Just very,
Craig
you were into it, and then took
Shakespeare. It's a great name.
Lovely sip
It's
of
like
beer from a tulip glass, as you said it. It was
should
very
be like
profound.
Will's badass brother that beats the hell out of anybody that messes with Will, like Craig Shakespeare. It's got a cool name.
You just added another character to our Netflix series. Will's badass.
No, he meant Will Shakespeare.
Oh,
Will Shakespeare's badass brother, Craig.
it still could be another
Still could be
character in our.
Look, he's the poet. Who's the poet? Craig Shakespeare, mother. Yeah.
He's the Craig Shakespeare, the enforcer.
Yeah. They call him the poet. Well, that doesn't. And then you got the plucky guys like, well, that doesn't sound too bad. Oh God! Like, yeah.
Crying. I don't know why. I don't know. That was one of the funniest things. So it was all about the delivery on that one. And as I watched you, like,
throw the punch.
Throw the punch, and you gestured. That was...
Yeah, Tony sounds good saying all my characters sound the same. That's quality Cockney.
Layers of Cockney.
The poet. We've gotten the poet, Mrs. Miggins,
Tammy
Tugol,
Rose Lavelle.
the PI is going to bring him down.
Mickey Bubbles.
Mickey Bubbles, that's right. That's what it started off. Yeah.
Mickey Bubbles.
Yeah. Craig Shakespeare you think is super like awesome, but it's Mickey Bubbles ends up taking him down when it's all said and done. Yeah.
It's all pieces of one greater TV series.
It's like, this just keeps
It's
going.
like the Marvel universe. They all, run into each other.
You got
It's the
Rose
same
Lavelle's
one.
own series, and then she
Right.
drops into it like Jessica Jones style.
Right.
Yeah. I'm down.
This is awesome.
What was the other podcast we were creating pitching TV shows or whatever?
We have
Pitching. We've already created a TV show.
we've got about 7,000 podcasts right now.
Yeah, we got
This
a
one
lot.
I think is the most promising. So far, we
Mrs.
have a
Miggins?
good series, we have a good cast. We've already planned on where it's going.
Who did we cast as Mrs. Miggins?
I don't think we casted Mrs.
I don't know,
Miggins
but
yet.
it's got to be. We said she's got to be. It's got to be an Angela Lansbury type. Like it's got to be like somebody you would never expect.
I think
Actually,
it's.
Angela Lansbury would be awesome.
You know who would be? Hold on. Keep talking. I got to look up this person.
Betty White.
No, well, she's got to be British though.
M.
Judi Dench.
Yeah.
Judi Dench might be nice.
Love her voice. Spaceship Earth. It's great.
Well, Judi Dench, the voice of Spaceship Earth.
Anne Ramsey.
Anne Ramsey.
Anne Ramsey. Do you remember Goonies?
Oh, yes.
She's the mom of the bandits.
Well, I don't think she's alive anymore, but I'm totally down for this.
Bring her back.
She was also
Yes,
the
she would
mom
be
from
great.
Throw Mama from the train.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, that is a great shout, Ron.
because she's got like that tough, like ballsy, no nonsense kind of thing. She'd be slapping people around in the pie
stature to
shop.
her.
Yeah, it'd be perfect.
She gave the kids like the brown, they're like, can we have some water? And
But
gave
see,
the
she
kids like
looks-
the brown water and drank it.
She looks so evil though. This is why I like the Angela Lansbury because she
Right.
looks sweet and then like
Pulled a
she
shotgun out from the desk.
has your
Right.
toenails peeled off. You know, like that's why I like her.
Yeah.
Maybe it could be like Angela Lansbury, Judi Dench, and then like a 3-headed like monster that
Different.
owns.
They run different pie shops and
yeah.
different like instead of
Or you have like one runs a pie shop, the other one runs a tailor, the other one runs a bakery.
boot shop. We need a good boot shop.
you need a cobbler. Yeah, do they still have cobblers these
I
days?
don't know.
I love this. Who's the other really awesome badass British lady? Oh God, she was just in Fast and Furious. Played Jason Statham's mom. What's her name? What? She's in that movie Red, where she's like an awesome assassin along with Bruce Willis and.
Oh my God. No idea.
No clue.
Oh my gosh, why can't I think of her name?
fine.
Helen Mirren.
Oh.
We need Tilda Swinton in this somewhere. I don't know what
Oh,
she's
heck
playing.
yeah.
But we need Tilda Swinton somewhere.
Yes.
she's awesome.
Man, the casting call is going to be so hard.
Yep.
Tilda Swinton is the assassin that they bring in
Oh, totally.
on a particularly tough assignment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
By far.
And she's got to like, make it look like a rail yard accident kind of thing, And Tilda
good
Swinton
rail yard
pulls that out.
accident.
Oh yeah. Oh. That's the Rose Lavelle series first. That she catches the assassin that's Tilda Swinton and takes her out, and then discovers the connection to Mrs. Miggins' pie shop.
But she
That's
comes
what
back
brings her
like
in.
a season later.
You thought she was dead.
Right, she's not
Moriarty
dead.
style. She's
Right.
not dead.
We're all over this.
I love where this is going.
Oh
So happy right
I
now.
love it.
That's great.
So speaking of
Females.
of female led of dramas. Well, Rose Lavelle, not that she was, but she plays in the NWSL. This is a really bad segue, but I'm forcing it to work. but for the NWSL Championship, Ferris, you were there.
Absolutely was.
We were working, so we could not be.
Sucks to be you guys.
Talk about the championship game held here at Orlando City Stadium.
Lot of fun. Wish it was about 8,000 in the crowd. I wish there was a little bit more out there. I'm a little bit disappointed in that. There should have been more, but good atmosphere. Got down there a little bit early. Went to one of our local establishments near the stadium and a local brewery, Broken Cauldron, and good atmosphere down there. There was Thorns supporters down there. There was
With the Courage, anybody down
there
there?
were Courage supporters down there, both. But there was also fans of like the Red Stars were down there. You know, like there were fans of just the NWSL in a whole. So good atmosphere to start. The game is about how I thought it was going to go. Beautiful day, 84 degrees, sun was shining. It was a beautiful day. The game was about how I thought it was going to go. Both teams, one finished first, Courage. One finished second, Portland. Both teams, you win champions off of defense and solid play. Both can do that very, very well. That showed in this game. It was really, really fun to watch. Two of the best midfielders that we get to watch on our national team forward. Haran for Portland and Mewis for North Carolina going head to head. They run those teams. Both had great games. Sam Mewis real early had a chance. It was kind of a quickly taken pass from the goalie out and went only about just before midfield there. And Mewis just caught her off her line and just, you thought it was like it looped perfectly. Like that's going in. That's going to drop. That's going to drop and hit the crossbar and bounced out. But the vision she had to do that, the guts she had to take that shot. But other than that, like she worked her tail off. Like Mewis put everything into the game. She worked hard. It was fun to watch her and Haran, who on the same as me. Haran had a fantastic game. The same thing. She worked so hard. She controlled play. It was two very solid teams just going head to head. Some good challenges, some strong tackles. Second half, off of a free kick, kind of a good bounce to Haran. She just pegged it in the back of the net. Good kind of half volley there. 1-0. And at that 1-0, and actually for the entire game, the Portland Thorns supporters that were there, fan-freaking-tastic. That is what it should be in the NWSL. Organized chants, organized movements. There was one kind of chant where they would like march back and forth and play, but everybody would march back and forth in place. Good flag coordination. Some were like solid red, some were like the checkered red, but they were all up at the same time. Like just chants by far and away, outsung, louder, more enthused throughout the entire game than the North Carolina fans. Sorry to say it,
Well, but they also are the club that was, the New York Flash, that then moved to North Carolina.
But there was just as much, if not more, North Carolina fans there because of
what I'm saying,
proximity here.
They don't have the culture. They are building their culture right now.
Portland is a huge soccer town.
Yeah, comparatively. So
Right. And they traveled very well. But, I mean, awesome fan base. And good for, like, the North Carolina fans were there and they were chanting and whatnot. But, yeah, Portland was awesome. And that's how the game ended, 1-0. It was that kind of game. That's kind of what you expected it to be. North Carolina had a few late chances, but some good talent out there. Again, it was like the Haran Mewis show. And Mewis put everything into it. And believe me, she left every bit of it out there. And Haran was just a bit better on the day. She was named the MVP of the match, and she deserved it. She played a fantastic game. A lot of fun. Awesome game to watch.
Wish I could have been there.
I know, me too. That kind of sucked to be stuck at work.
So a couple of interesting things after the NWSL Championship. The NWSL awards came out, and
did all of them come out?
Yes.
Well,
three of the most notable.
Save 2 of them.
Why?
Because they'll be on our NWSL wrap up where we look over all of our.
Oh, who we picked for Golden Boot and all that stuff.
Well, none of those are on there. None of those are the ones I was going to read.
Oh, awesome. What are the ones we've got? What are these categories?
Goalkeeper of the Year, Adriana French from Portland Thorns. She sets an NWSL record with 11 clean sheets in the regular season.
She had a good game.
Rookie of the Year.
Please tell me.
Ashley Hatch from the North Carolina Courage. She scores 7 goals and adds an assist in 2017. She came on for the injured Jessica McDonald early on in the season, June 3rd-ish.
Yeah, she had a very good year.
Or very early on. And then Coach of the Year, Paul Riley of the North Carolina Courage. The Courage win the NWSL Shield with a 16-7-1 record in the regular season, which is pretty awesome.
I mean, these were the 2 best teams in the league, and both went head-to-head, and you were kind of splitting hairs on who would win. Thought it was going to be a 1-0 game, and that's exactly what it was. But it wasn't a 1-0 game. It was an entertaining game. Good challenges, a lot of heart, good talent on there. You had some of the best backs in the league. You had Lynn Williams. You had Lingenberg. Who came? Long came on in the second half. Like you had good talent out there, as well. And it was a lot of fun. Like I said, I was a little bit disappointed. Only 8,000 were there. Would have liked to seen 10 and above. But we'll do an NWSL wrap up here soon on everything. But if you're anywhere near a NWSL club, whether you're in Kansas City, Portland, Seattle, wherever, get your ass to a game. You will have a blast. You will watch just a fun game. They put everything out there on the field. They play such an organized, technical style of soccer. They don't bitch. They don't moan. They don't lay on the ground and roll around. Like, they play hard. They play fun. It is such just an awesome game. And you get to see a superstar pretty much in every game. You look at Boston. Boston was down there, 9th, 10th this year?
Yeah.
Rose Lavelle, such a promising, awesome, up-and-coming player for the U.S. She looks like she can be just one of the top 5 in the world for years to come. Like, every team has somebody that you whether it's on the U.S. team or the Australian team or the French team, like, you have a player on every team. Get to a game. Support your club. Even if you don't, turn into Lifetime or Go 90. The coverage is great.
That's really gotten better over the year.
Product. Support the game. Support the females game. It's so awesome, and it's. I'm wearing a Pride jersey now. This is one of my favorite jerseys that I own. It's so awesome. I've said it on the pod before. The past 2 years that they've been around, I've enjoyed going to their games more so than I have the men. It's an awesome game. Get your butts out there, see a game, or watch a game. Turn on to a game. Pick a club. There's 10 teams. It's not like you have to scan through 2 divisions and all of that. There's 10 teams with a lot of good talent.
Bring your kids. Take your daughters out. Let them watch it.
Take your sons out.
Yeah.
Take your family
everything
out.
was the little boys running around. They had like Allie Krieger jerseys on and stuff. You're like, this is awesome. This is how it should be.
Yep.
I love it. You actually, if you're done with NWSL, you just said something that sparked something I wanted to talk about.
Yeah.
Talk about other divisions. Did you? And I really don't have a lot of information on this, so I'm kind of throwing it out. So we need to look into it for a subsequent episode. But that Orlando City B is folding.
I hadn't heard that.
And that there are a couple of other of the MLS teams that have USL clubs that are like, Red Bulls 2 or whatever. And I don't know that it's Red Bulls, but that they're closing. If you look at OCB stuff, a lot of it's been removed from the website. And apparently the guys were just told that Orlando City B is not going to be anymore. Some other MLS teams that had like a number 2 club in USL that those are no longer going to be.
Are you sure the club's folding? I'm seeing a lot of stories that there was wholesale roster cuts and changes because the USL season isn't it broken into like a winter year and a spring year? Like it's two separate seasons.
Well, this was just this was shared a ton on Twitter from different soccer reporters and writers saying, take a look at this. But a lot of clubs were going to be leaving that were like sort of secondary MLS clubs. And it just might be something to look at to moving forward. And I just know if you guys had seen anything about that.
No,
I haven't seen anything on that, but I'll be looking that up.
And they were waiting for news to be announced, and these guys were just saying that the news had been broken to the players. That but I don't know. There's a lot of news too saying that there's a lot of roster moves following their second year, but there just seems to be some changes around the lower division USL when it comes to the USL MLS partnerships with some of those clubs.
Right.
And that I guess I didn't see this USL's trying to get a third division going because now they've moved up to second division. So looking at a third. So I don't know. There's a lot of stuff going on.
There's a lot of infighting between all of those.
If
second, third-ish divisions.
USL's going
division.
for a third division, it makes me think they are trying to get rid of NASL. That's what that sounds like.
NASL has been doing a lot to hurt themselves in the recent, I'm going to say 2 to 3 years. Teams are leaving out of that league in droves because of the different restrictions and the bad scheduling and
North Carolina's men's team and they got in. They had a new club. Hey, we're NASL. We want to be in the MLS in 2 years. Like it wasn't even like it was such a quick thing. They weren't even, but they barely kicked a ball. They said we want out. So I don't know. There seems to be a lot of rumblings. There's a lot of people on Twitter saying, "Hey, still waiting for full confirmations." But there seems to be a lot of changes when it comes to USL. The second teams that a lot of MLS clubs have in USL, and that USL's looking at some third division stuff. So anyway, just something to keep an eye out as we move forward.
Especially be interesting to see how it moves forward with obviously the news of the U.S. men's national team.
Absolutely, because all the USL, NASL, MLS all need to come together to help make and U.S. soccer to improve the men's national team.
They need to get their heads out of their asses.
Absolutely. So, real quick though, before we go, you guys had a chance before or right after the U.S. men's national team to play with Garage Soccer, some of the fellas from World Soccer Talk and Garage Soccer, which has just launched a podcast. And thanks for giving us a shout out, I think, on your second episode.
Yeah.
And they talked about Ferris, who is holding his third place medal.
Third out of 700,037. Yeah. But
That many people there at McGinty's Pub, huh?
Or 6.
Let's see. Hold that thing up. It looks beautiful.
It was a ton of fun. Had a good time going out there, learning how to play Subbuteo. Is that how you pronounce it?
Yeah, I don't think we knew that it was called. We just thought it was Garage Soccer, but it actually has a technical name. But it's a very big game from what
UK,
Pat, the guy that ran the league, was telling us overseas. It has a very big.
And there are different versions of there's like fishing ones. There's it can replicate several different kinds of sport or game or what have you.
It's very big in the UK and Italy. And it was a ton of fun to go out there.
And if you check the Garage Soccer podcast, I was listening to it because they had tagged us in the launch of their second episode, talking about you guys playing and gave Ferris a nice shout out for coming in third. But they kind of explained like a little bit that I didn't know about the game and how popular it was, and they're sort of creating their own store, slowly putting the pieces together. So if anybody wants to play or start a club, and then they told me that you will be they're going to be starting an Orlando branch.
Yeah,
at some point.
I mean, I had a very
what a fun way to go to a
Arsenal preseason Cup, Emirates Cup way of winning third. I lost 2-0 my first game. I won 1-0 my second game, and then lost 1-0 my third game. Somehow I made it to the knockout range, and I was still named third, kind of like how Arsenal lost in the championship game, but still won the entire tournament. I don't know. But it was so much fun. And to kind of break the game down real quickly, it wasn't foosball, it's not anything like that. It's basically on a felt type field top goals are set up. There's like a little round ball. It's what would you like the size of a
Like a quarter?
No, a little bit bigger than a normal marble.
Yeah,
Like a shooter size marble?
A little smaller,
Okay.
but close.
yeah. And then you
Boy,
have
I just sound like I'm from the 1920s.
yeah, you
A
did.
shooter marble?
Yeah, you did.
You
Mr. Dad joke.
You
Yeah,
didn't.
yeah.
You didn't pull out the great measure, so I was
Yeah.
proud of you. From DuckTales, anyone? Anyone?
Woo. DuckTales.
They have a whole 3 episodes about the great measure.
New DuckTales, Scrooge McDuck is voiced by Doctor Who,
yeah.
by the way.
Awesome.
Freaking Dave Tennant.
I haven't seen that
I
yet.
watched the show just because Dave Tennant's is Mr. Scrooge or Scrooge McDuck. I love it.
God, we get off on tangents.
Yeah, we do. Anyway,
but
back to
and then you set up your players, and you basically it's like setting up a real soccer game. You flick the players into the ball, and you gain possession by like passing it to another one of your players. You lose possession if you don't get it there, and the other team has an opportunity. But the defensive side of the ball, like if you were in a constant dribble, you can keep going that way. But whoever's on defense can move and position players into different ways, like you're setting up like an actual strategic soccer game, trying to move them to cut off the pass or cut off the next play, and you basically move your players to try to obviously get a goal you can't score until you're on a certain side of the field, and there's rules with the corner kicks, there's rules with the throw-ins, and this was Ron and I's first experience, so we had to learn a lot of it, but we had an absolute blast.
I think the coolest part of it is that, yes, there are rules that govern various things, but none of them impede the game, which I think is really important, especially for
makes it
beginners.
easier to learn if that's
Right.
the case. Yeah.
Right, because then you're not bored and someone's not constantly quoting you rules.
No, you can't do that
Right.
because on page 24, it strictly says that clerics cannot use edged weapons.
Something like that.
Ferris's face.
But yeah, I think it's very beginner friendly, and I think the hardest part of it is when you're on defense, and this is how I lost a game to take me out of the playoffs. Is like Ferris said, when you're on the offensive side, you flick a guy into the ball, and the ball is then passed. That's passing a ball to another player. If you miss your other player, if you keep it with your player and you keep making those passes, after every pass, the defender gets to go. And so when I was on offense, I went back to the turn-based feel of the game where you flick it, then you wait for them to set up their defense, then you flick it again, when you can just keep going. And I lost 2 goals in like the last 10 seconds of the game because I forgot about that.
In fairness to the guy that won the entire tournament, though, right? Didn't you lose to the guy that won the entire tournament? Well,
No.
I was positive.
No, the guy that won the entire tournament, as far as I remember, was the guy from the Orlando Spurs.
No, I think he plays.
He came in second.
I think he plays second.
I'll
So
take
I
your
wasn't
word
there,
for it.
but it was based on Twitter conversations.
Because the guy that won was the guy from the England area that had been playing for.
All right, I'll take your word for it. I
his
thought it
all-
was
I
the
don't-
other way
yeah,
around.
I'm sorry, I don't remember his name, but it was a fun game. It was good. Game you can play with a beer in your hand and sitting in the garage or at a pub or wherever, and just it's real easy to pick up.
Well, and if
picked it up real quick,
it made
yeah.
it sound like they may try to set up something at McGinty's or whatever.
Yeah,
as
apparently the Orlando Spurs are buying a table and
okay, and
Oh.
so this was at McGinty's Irish Pub in Orlando, which I've yet to go to. How was the bar?
it was cool.
I hate Irish pubs. They're terrible.
I know. Ferris, I knew was going to love it because it's an Irish pub.
Yeah, they have a huge bar which is super cool, and it's all old and wooden looking, and that their food was phenomenal. They have a lot of great beers on tap. They have a whole bunch of dart boards, both electric and regular cork, and it's just a nice big open space, and everybody was super friendly. The beers were reasonably priced.
Well, and we got introduced to the Orlando Spurs. I didn't know that was a thing that existed down
Yeah,
here. So,
Orlando
yeah.
Spurs bar. That's where all the Spurs will go to watch their matches. But it was tons of fun. Pat was super cool. He's the guy that kind of I don't know if it's a partnership between him and Chris, but either way, he ran the tournament, and I think he and another gentleman played like, I don't know, 10 minutes, and they explained the rules to us, and we were playing inside of 15 minutes.
Oh, well, that's all. That perfect. There you go. Like you said, that's not too much that you're like, okay, I'm bored. I don't know.
Inside of 15 minutes, we were in there, quote, kicking the ball around and going, I don't know, does that work? Yeah, that works.
Well, I'm excited for the next one.
It was fun.
Yeah,
I could definitely see how if you were so into it that your entire world would just go right into that.
Well, they've got their own podcast now, so absolutely,
it's pretty awesome.
And speaking of like discovering like the Orlando Spurs, I think we've got to do something we haven't done very much yet. Is like we got to find more of our local groups that support different Premier League clubs that go watch matches with them and stuff. We really, I mean, I know you went on with the Man United.
Part of the Red Army of Orlando. They meet at the Celt downtown.
And I know the Arsenal crew, the Orlando Gooners, they meet at XL Soccer, which is like an indoor and outdoor soccer place that's got like a sports bar in it and stuff. But where's the Chelsea crew? What are they?
They don't have a specific home.
But theirs is the car lot down the street.
Are you sure?
Broken down bus.
But are you sure of that? Because it may have changed.
I emailed those guys about in last season to ask them what they do, and they gave me like 6 different bars that they frequent.
So it's not quite as organized.
And it's there's no real rhyme or reason to which one they go to when or anything like that. Well, I guess their lack of organization just kind of put me off, and I didn't go back.
Well, I keep saying I'm going to go to the Orlando Gooners one, but XL Soccer is kind of far from me. So I'm always like, I'll get up at, I don't want to leave that early.
Yeah, no.
But what do you do?
Especially for a 7:30 match. You'd be like getting up at 5 a.m.
I kind of wish I'd gone there because when they did the FA Cup, they had a blast. So we just got to find more of those. I know the Everton guys do somewhere downtown, and like when they played Man U, they marched to the Celt. And when they played at Everton, the guys from the Man U group march from the Celt to wherever they go watch. It's stuff like that. It's great. It's so cool. Awesome that stuff happens down there.
There's a Swansea bar, but the only one I know of that is
in St. Pete. Moon Underwater. Yeah. Great British pub. Great British
name.
Indian food. The name Moon Underwater, we discovered, the history it's there. If you touch the Queen's sovereign, a coin, saying that I've asked you to join the service, then you've been conscripted, right? If you touch it, you've accepted it. So at bars, like these captains trying to conscript young guys would drop a coin into your beer. So you'd be drinking it, and when you finished and it hit your lips, they'd be like, you've been conscripted, and they'd grab you and take you to the military. So that's why, have you ever seen those pewter mugs that have like the glass bottom? That's why they come. So people would like lift up and look under to make sure they didn't see the coin. Otherwise, no way. So anyway, Moon Underwater. That's what that was called. But cool joint in
That's probably the name of the next Bond film.
That's actually a very good Bond name. I like. That's how we get a little Florida action in. Moon Underwater is like the American branch when they do one offshoot episode for our Netflix series, Mrs. Miggin's Pie Shop. Well, gents, another fun episode.
Absolutely.
Please follow us on Twitter at Brewtiful Game. Look us up on Facebook. The website's thebrewtifulgame.com. Which you can find all these things at there. Our email is brewtifulgame@gmail.com. Find us on Instagram, on Untapped, which I finally got a chance to go to Tampa Bay Brewing Company, and I put up a bunch of Untapped stuff.
Really cool place, isn't it?
Some really great rare beers that they had on tap there that you don't see elsewhere.
And they invited us down to do a pod down there sometime.
Yeah, we got to figure that out.
We got to figure that out.
And Ferris was right. I got the bomb, which is a cheeseburger calzone. Calzone.
Oh my god!
Oh my gosh! Hey, they're the ones that said come out and have a calzone.
They did.
That's awesome.
That calzone's amazing. It was so good.
Real good.
We are really lucky to have some cool breweries near us. But so Untapped was a ton of fun because they have the big screen while I was there that actually shows you like the recent reviews.
Oh, that's cool.
Does your show up?
Yes, I'm like, but I looked at oh, wait a minute, I looked at the Brewtiful Game badge is like up on this big screen, and I realized, well, I'm glad I like the beer. That'd have been embarrassing if you were like, well, this was terrible, but it was up there above the bar. But it was really, really cool to check that out. We as a crew, we got to go. Speaking of, this is tangential to craft beer, but craft cocktails. Also, I was down in Tampa, went to this place called the Gin Joint that set up like this old school kind of like
pictures from there.
Speakeasy. And I just was like, I just want a quick bite to eat or a quick little snack because we had traveled and hadn't had food before I meet the guys for dinner. But when I went in there, I was like, well, I'll be coming back at dinner when dinner's over, and I'm going to, some of my friends from work come back over here. This like cool 1920s vibe. It's downtown Tampa. This couple gets up by a piano. They start singing jazz tunes. My bartenders are all in like vests and bow ties. And it sounds super pretentious, but they weren't. They were super cool. The people that are inside are really awesome. And lady comes, she goes, hi, I'm Lauren, and puts her hands out and just gives like this great handshake. I don't know why that struck me, but I've never said at bars where just a bartender walks up and is like, hey, this is my name. Who are you? And they're like, so it's like, what do you dig? Like, you've been here before? Because we're pretty new. I was like, no, I've never been there. I said, well, I feel like I'm at the gin joint. I'm going to try gin and tonic first. And she's like, what do you like? I said, well, I like St. George's gin. She goes, oh, nice. So you do know some craft like gin. I was like, yeah, but I mean, not a ton, but you're the professional. I trust you. So she runs and does her stuff, then comes back and sits down a bottle of gin in front of me with like $2.98 or it's got a number on it. It is as dark as like a Brugal rum, like a spiced rum. You know, gin is obviously typically clear. And I was like, what is that? She goes, this gin has been aged in Chardonnay barrels. And I want to do this and put these like juniper things in your. I was just whatever. Yes, everything you just said.
What you said.
You just do it, and
Just
it was
do
one
it.
of the best gin and tonics I have ever had. And then I look down the menu and I see Ferris, and what I mean by that is I see the Vespa, and I was like, "Is this the James Bond drink?" And I was like, "Is this the one listed in Casino Royale?" She goes, "No, it's the one from the book." And I was like,
Oh.
and they do it just right. It's the two parts of they use Reykjavik vodka from Iceland that you've had.
Right.
And then one part, this small batch London gin. And then one part in the book, Kenilele, which is a spice. It's like this white wine that's very strong, but it's dry. It's not like it's not as floral. That doesn't exist anymore. But they've got this American company called like Americachino or something that makes it based on the old recipe.
Oh, wow.
So it's as close to the Ian Fleming Bond drink you can get. And they pull, just like the book says, in a chilled champagne goblet with a slice of lemon rind. Out of a freezer, they pull out a chilled champagne goblet, slice the lemon rind, and the guy goes, and threw away 3 lemon rinds before he got it cut just like he wanted, dropped it in the thing. I was like, this is so awesome.
What's the place called?
Amazing.
The Gin Joint in Tampa. And
Right.
it was the Vespa landed.
heard of it.
And mind you, drinks from the 50s, ladies and gentlemen, are not like Appletinis of today. They are alcohol mixed with other fermented like things.
They were boozers back in the day.
It is strong.
They weren't messing around.
But like you take a sip and you hear bang, 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 bang. You hear it, man.
Can we
awesome
all wear
place.
tuxes and then just go there to hang
I
out?
feel like
for a
we
night?
should. But we need to make a little Tampa trip to go. We got to take a little Brewtiful road trip. Go do a little of
Hit
this
up
stuff.
some of the Gin Joint, Tampa Bay Brewing, Cigar
Oh.
City, Big Storm,
And-
Three Daughters.
Good shout out. Tampa
There's a
Bay
couple
Brewing.
pair of dice. In
Paradise
Clearwater now.
Brewing,
There's a bunch.
CW's Gin Joint.
CW's Gin Joint. Thank you. Yes,
CW's
CW's Gin Joint. Yeah. Great place. And the best Brussels sprouts I've ever had. I know that's a random, like, their food.
Oh,
was
we're not
awesome.
going to get into that right now.
Honey drizzled with candied bacon. You would have loved it, Ron. Like served
had me
in
at
a
candy.
cast iron skillet. It was so good. We lost Ferris. Apparently Ferris does not like Brussels sprouts.
Oh.
He's not a Brussels sprouts
That's a lot of
guy.
people at work. No, not a fan whatsoever. Had 2 bad experiences. No.
Oh no! Well, my next beer is a Brussels sprout.
Oh God, I will not drink it. Nope.
Oh, that's
Not
amazing.
a fan.
That makes me very happy.
That does not make me happy.
And one last thing before we hop off. To everyone that is sending in reviews, we'll be getting out your koozies very soon.
Nope.
Nope.
We already did it.
Oh, they're already out.
Already out. You should have them by the 21st.
Cool. You should be getting them very soon.
I hand delivered them. I was up in Pennsylvania this past weekend.
you.
I hand delivered to Amanda Scott, and she was like, "Oh my God, these are so awesome!" And she said, "I'm coming down to Florida for New Year's. I have to meet Ferris."
Oh, maybe we have to get her on the pod.
I told her I may be out of town during New Year's.
Oh no!
I know.
Maybe-
I don't know for certain.
Well, maybe she'll be sitting where you are then.
I don't know for certain, but no, if she's down here, yes, absolutely. We'd love to chat, have a beer.
But we've still got a few koozies to send out. So if you do, want to leave us a rating and review on iTunes or Stitcher, I guess I should say as well, just take a screenshot, whether hit us up on Twitter or our email or whatever, or Facebook. Let us know you did that, and then we will get a koozie out to you because we still got a few left to go. But for everybody that has, thank you so much. We really, really appreciate it. And to be honest, they have warmed my heart because several of them have been, oh, well, this is what I wanted our show to be. And the fact that this is the review you feel like writing, awesome. So that's pretty rad.
You guys are the bee's knees.
That's right, man. Rad bee's knees. What do you got, Ferris?
You just said rad, so got that one into this podcast. I
Yeah,
don't
we did.
have anything. I just said thank you very, very much. We're three goofballs that decided to do this off of a whim, and we're not commentators. We're not pundits. We're just three ordinary guys drinking beer and talking soccer. So thank you all very much for the kind words.
Yeah, and thank you, Lancaster Brewing's head brewer, Mark Brownworth, for delivering this delicious campfire from you guys and Cox Brewing. That is delicious. Boom. All right,
Good
gentlemen. Cheers. Love the beer. Cherish the game of the Brewtiful Game.
Come on down to Stanford Bridge.
Man, this campfire is good. Boop, boop, boop.